So what's the difference between good dopamine and bad dopamine? Right, so basically I've been getting this question a lot, right, in my Q&A videos, right, like the question really is like, why are good habits good and bad habits bad, right, and why is it that these good habits produce like good dopamine and bad habits get like bad dopamine, right? And I just found like the true scientific answer now, and it's absolutely fascinating, bro. Like I'm honestly really proud of you for watching this like scientific video, but I'm gonna make it as simple and as short as possible because I know your time is like very valuable, right? So what is dopamine, right? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter. Basically, a neurotransmitter is just this thing in your brain that produces chemicals that tell your body how to function, really, basically. So it's basically these neurotransmitters are just responsible for everything, like literally everything, like from your mood to your sleep to your energy to your motivation to how tired you are to how happy you are, how sad you are, you know, how confident you are, literally everything from emotions to how you think to how you feel, like everything, right? Now, dopamine, bro, is the neurotransmitter that actually makes you like feel good about life. It's what motivates you to do good things. Like if we imagine this like 10,000, 50,000 years ago, like in the caveman days, right? Like the cavemen, they would be motivated to, you know, go and hunt and, you know, be in little tribes and talk to each other and go and hunt and, you know, go drink water from the pond and go and get like bees or whatever, like get some honey from the bees. Like that is dopamine at its best, right? It's what motivates us. It's responsible for so many things, but primarily it's motivation, right? Motivation, happiness, you know, pleasure, right? And generally just feeling good and feeling, you know, like enjoying life, right? Now the question here is, bro, and this is what I've been wondering for a very long time, right? If dopamine is this neurotransmitter in our brain and good habits produce dopamine and bad habits produce dopamine, like then why are good habits good and bad habits bad? And of course, like there are health causes, right? There are basically like porn and video games, social media, these things like destroy your mental health, destroy your confidence, destroy like literally everything in your life. But if we're speaking strictly from like a dopamine point of view, because this is something like I've been wondering for a very long time, and people who like have asked me this question in Q&A, right? Basically, this is fascinating. Bad habits, what they do is they spike dopamine to massive levels that are unnatural. So if you go back to that, you know, caveman example, right? In the caveman days, like 10,000, 15,000 years ago, if you showed someone porn, right, like they might die, right? Like now that's like an over exaggeration, but really like it would be like so much stimulation to that caveman because they're not used to any of that. Like if they just see a woman from their tribe and you know, in the future have sex with that woman, that's like the pinnacle of that caveman's life, right? I'm trying to make this as simple as possible for us to actually understand it, right? But yeah, like that's the truth of it, right? So they spike it to very high, massive levels. So our brain thinks, oh my God, this is a super stimulus. Like this is insane how much dopamine like is being released. So our brain, to protect us, like your brain is so incredibly, exceptionally intelligent, like to a point you don't even imagine, right? So it protects you just like a baby, you know, just like a woman protecting a baby, right? It protects you. So it because it has all of this dopamine that you didn't work for, that's just so easy, and it's just massive levels, it then drops immediately to very low levels, right, to protect it. And it has to do that. It has to do that, right? It has to, like if your brain experiences massive amounts of dopamine, it has to give you an equal amount of drop in that dopamine, right? Because like one of the first principles of biology is homeostasis, right? Equilibrium. Basically, our body and our mind need to be balanced. We need to be balanced. And that's why, like when you're cold, for example, you know, your body begins to shiver, right? And when it's hot, we begin to sweat, right? Because our body needs to establish homeostasis. Okay, so basically, if you didn't get anything, right, this is why, like, when we watch porn, or when we masturbate, or play video games, or eat junk food, or watch social media, right, or watch a movie, or do any of these like very pleasurable activities, our brain like spikes, especially like pornography, right? Our brain just spikes to massive amounts of dopamine that it's not used to, that it hasn't adapted to at all, right? Like, throughout our evolutionary history, right, if we imagine, like, through all of our history, like 100,000, 200,000 years ago, up until like 20 years ago, we didn't have video games, we didn't have pornography, we didn't have any of this, right? We didn't have like social media, right? Like, all of this is very, very new. Like, our biology, our caveman brain hasn't evolved through this, because evolution takes like millions and millions of years. So that's why bad habits are bad, right? Now, what about good habits? And this is what I've been researching, right? What they found out, this is what I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman, right? When we do good habits, when we go to the gym, when we read books, when we eat healthy food, when we spend time in nature, when we have like deep, fulfilling relationships, right? When we for example, like, take cold showers, right? When we do all of these healthy, good habits, right, what happens is our dopamine levels increase gradually, like very slowly. They increase, and they increase to healthy levels. They make you actually feel good, and they make you actually feel pleasure, and feel actually good about yourself. They make you feel fulfilled and make you feel great, and that you just feel amazing about yourself. That's dopamine, right? And it's also serotonin as well, but it's dopamine as well, right? Like, serotonin is basically another neurotransmitter. It's responsible for like confidence and your place in the social hierarchy, and your self-esteem. I'm gonna make a whole video about it, but basically it's dopamine and serotonin, right? But what happens is, when we do these good habits, right, our dopamine increases gradually, but then it doesn't drop, it returns back to baseline. And the thing is, this is what's so powerful about these good habits. When we work out, or do yoga, or read books, or meditate, or journal, or spend time in nature, or spend time with family and friends, what happens is, when we keep doing these habits, right, consistently every single day, over time, our baseline level of dopamine increases. It increases, right? So you enjoy, your overall enjoyment of life increases when you do these habits every day. Your overall fulfillment and happiness with your life increases, and that's why these habits are so powerful. And this is why, like, I always say, like, we need to replace bad habits with good habits. That's how you overcome bad habits. Because if your baseline level of dopamine is already to the maximum, right, when you're doing these good habits, you're never gonna want to do these bad habits ever. If you already love and enjoy and just feel so fulfilled with your life, you're not gonna be addicted to anything. You're not gonna watch porn. You're not gonna play video games. Like, there is nobody that is genuinely fulfilled and loves their life that does any of that BS. I just haven't seen anyone that actually does that, who's actually genuinely fulfilled with their life, right? So yeah, I just wanted to explain this. This is something I've learned very recently, right? That's the difference between good and bad dopamine. So yeah, thank you so much, bro, for watching this video. As always, bro, we're in this together, and we will make it.